Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be checking out Ultimate Spider-Man issue 3 by Jonathan Hickman and Marco Checchetto. Spider-Man finally becomes a fully fledged hero this issue, as with some help from his daughter May, Peter settles on his costume design finally and puts it to good use pretty quickly as the Green Goblin has attacked another Fisk business and the mysterious assassin Bullseye has been sent to stop him. Before all of the action begins though, Hickman nails down a few things regarding Ben and Jonah's new venture, giving them a dumpy little office and their first investigation, which is related to the Green Goblin and Fisk. Ben and Jonah's relationship and working dynamic is such unexplored territory, and I'm glad ample time is being given to explore it and explore these options that we've never actually had before in Spider-Man, which is really odd to say, being that Spider-Man has existed for well over 60 years, so you'd think they would have explored something like this at some point. While we don't actually get a lot of Ben and Jonah's new venture this issue since it's mostly all action, I do like the idea that they are both pretty realistic in their options at the moment. They both know they of course have a dumpy office and they don't really have much to go on, but they're still trying to work through it all. And I like when they come to talk with Peter about this whole Wilson Fisk Green Goblin thing, they float the idea that maybe this is like a bad guy going after a bad guy and there's no good guy versus bad guy, and I kind of like that idea that they actually are thinking about that, and maybe even Fisk could be the good guy in this situation. It's really interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of them in the coming issues as their business expands a little bit more. Hickman also uses this opportunity to kind of catch the characters up on some things we as readers kind of already know, which is that Fisk is talking to someone higher up the food chain than him and they are telling him what to do, and Fisk doesn't want the news reporting on any of his dealings because it might bring these higher management people into the light, which is something they don't want. Of course, the higher management is people like the Maker and all of his cabal of people who actually run the world, and they can't be seen as, you know, controlling everything and anything. So I like this idea that they're stumbling upon this larger conspiracy and maybe don't really realize the implications of that, and could lead to some really bad things happening for these characters. After all of the setup for the Green Goblin, the rest of the book is just all out action as the Green Goblin and Bullseye's big battle gains the attention of Spider-Man, who has been staking out a Fisk-run business in the hopes he can catch the masked vigilante in the act. I thoroughly enjoyed all the banter between the Goblin, Spider-Man and Bullseye, and it felt very catty between each other, specifically Goblin and Bullseye, and that felt organic for these type of characters. I like the dynamic they had between them where they're fighting each other and viciously trying to kill each other, but they're willing to make jokes at each other's expense as well. It feels like it's something from a Spider-Man comic, something which I feel has been sorely missing from the current comics as of late. Much like the Ben and Jonah stuff from before, Hickman also uses this as an opportunity to deliver some more plot to these characters, hinting that Bullseye isn't actually working for Fisk like the Green Goblin thinks he is. He's working for Fisk's bosses, the people who obviously control the world, giving more evidence to these characters that something has changed in the world as of late, beginning with that big attack on New York that everyone blames Tony Stark for, and now they're seeing little bits like this, like Bullseye showing up and Shocker and all of these characters who never existed beforehand just starting to sort of come out of the woodwork, like the floodgates have been opened and people are starting to pay attention to that, which is what Bullseye and I guess his bosses don't want to happen. The fight between all three of them is pretty neat. It's pretty quick as well, as they use traps to stop Bullseye after he tries to trap them, and it's great use of these two characters who've never teamed up before, and Spider-Man in this case, this being like his second battle ever, is able to really just team up and sort of get in sync with this other guy really quickly. It kind of shows that there is something there between them, like a friendship that might blossom, because obviously Green Goblin is Harry Osborn and it's something we've known for quite a while now thanks to variant covers, and I'm glad that they didn't leave that as like a hanging thread and make us wonder who this Green Goblin is. It was fairly obvious it was going to be Harry, and I'm glad they went that route. After Bullseye is defeated, Goblin actually does something surprising, revealing that Spider-Man's new tech suit that he got from Tony Stark is seemingly Oscorp proprietary technology, as he is able to access the suit and reveal Peter's identity to him. I'm not sure how I feel about this, since it feels like the only reason this was done was so they could both know each other's identity, and Hickman wanted it, but maybe didn't know how to get there in a way that's really quick. He probably had a way that could could get there, but only in a couple of issues, but he wanted to do it right away and just get it out of the way. There is some wiggle room here since we don't actually know where Tony got the suit from, since that wasn't revealed, and he could have easily just stolen it from Oscorp, stolen the technology from Oscorp, but it's a little bit of a convenience that Harry just knows how to access the suit, or can, you know, tell that he can access the suit. Hopefully this is also a way for Peter to get rid of the high-tech suit and go to a more traditional, you know, just spandex costume, since I could see him thinking about the idea of Harry maybe now having control of the suit so he could like lock the suit down if Spider-Man tries to stop him from doing something, or turn the suit against him or something. This also, and I thought about this while reading it, and once I read the issue again, it kind of seems a bit more evidence. This could also lead to the Ultimate Universe's version of a symbiote, because the suit very much acts like a symbiote. It can change its shape on Peter, it can leave him at will, come at will, you know, anything his mind makes, and it even looks like a symbiote when it comes off of him in this issue. So maybe this could be their way of doing a symbiote in some way, in that it's like some sort of techno-organic armor that comes to life and gets a mind of its own or something. It would be a hell of a lot different to the past Ultimate Venoms and even just the 616 Venoms, and I'd be all for it. It's something different, and that's the entire point of this Ultimate Universe, to do something that's familiar yet very different from how it's done in the mainline Marvel Universe. Despite how the identity reveal was handled, both Goblin and Spider-Man know each other's secret identities now, and we're left with them deciding to go get a drink to talk about all of the weird stuff that's cropping up in the world as of late. I'm really excited for Harry and Peter's relationship in the Ultimate Universe now, since it's a complete fresh start, as both don't actually know each other, so there's none of that, you know, high school, you know, teenage angst baggage or anything. They're both adults, they've both suffered a loss at the hands of the exact same accident. So much like Ben and Jonah's whole deal, there's a bit of unexplored territory there, and I like that, of course, they're adults now, so there's a bit of maturity there, and we've already seen that with Peter and how he handles situations and how so much more well-adjusted he is compared to the 616 Peter, at least as of late. So I'm excited to see how their relationship is going to blossom over the course of the next couple of issues, and I guess as well, this book is going to be 12 issues, at least that's how I read it, because each issue, one comes out a month, and each issue is based in the month it comes out of. This issue, being that it come out in March, was based in March. So the next issue will be April. So to me, that means we're going to have 12 issues. So we're quickly approaching the midway point. I don't think we're going to have 12 issues, but at least for volume 1 will be 12 issues, which is a really neat idea on Hickman's part. I kind of like that idea that we're slowly progressing this Ultimate Universe in real time. That's so damn cool. And I know the old universe tried to do that, but it, you know, kind of failed spectacularly because it just books delayed and postponed and all that sort of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to like this real-time development of relationships between all of these characters. Hickman's third entry in the Ultimate Spider-Man series was another really great issue. I loved all of the action with Goblin and Spider-Man and Bullseye, and Spider-Man actually getting his classic costume finally. Hickman is doing some really interesting things with character dynamics, especially between Jonah and Ben Parker, something we've never seen before in a Spider-Man comic, which is always exciting. Something new and fresh and creative. I'm not too keen on how the identity reveal went at the end of this issue, but I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to explain a lot of the things he dropped on us in those final pages regarding Spider-Man's suit and Harry Osborn and all that sort of stuff. So I'm excited to check all that out in the next month's issue. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.